At last count, it was an industry worth $500 million in exports. Turkish TV series have taken the world by storm from across the Middle East and Asia all the way to South America. Historical period pieces have proven to be the most popular, with audience numbers ranging in the hundreds of millions. And Turkey's top production companies are set to feed this rising global demand. Ludovica Brignola has this report.
Turkish TV series are on the up and up. In the past decade, the country's TV exports have grown exponentially, worth a mere $100,000 in 2008 to $500 million in 2020. By 2023, they're predicted to top $1 billion.
The
Turkish cinema and TV series industry is growing by the day. This is an aspect of Turkey's development. We have a good grasp of the language of cinema, we understand people's reflexes well, and we stand on an unbelievably historical legacy.
Barbaroslar is one of the latest offerings. The drama depicts the life of Ottoman Navy Admiral Hayreddin Barbarossa, Redbeard, who lived during the empire's so-called Golden Age, during the reigns of emperors Selim I and Suleiman the Magnificent. It comes on the heels of Dirilish Ertuğrul, which was a huge success both domestically and internationally. Set in the 13th century, it is based on the life of Ertuğrul Gazi, father of Sultan Osman, the founder of the Ottoman Empire. In only a few months, the series became the third highest grossing drama in Turkey after The Pit and Bride from Istanbul. And like other Turkish TV series, it was a massive hit abroad. Turkey is now the world's second biggest TV series exporter after the US. Its dramas are watched by 700 million people in more than 146 countries worldwide. From Latin America all the way to Southeast Asia, Turkish production is setting records in a country such as Colombia, but they are also gaining prominence in Brazil, which is considered to be the birthplace of telenovelas. 5 Spanish TV channels are in talks with Turkish service exporters to purchase new series too. Part of the popularity lies in the perspective. Turkish productions present a different view of Islamic history than that of mainstream Hollywood, where Muslims often play the villains or the terrorists.
We couldn't shoot like these stories, but we had a lot of heroes in the Muslim countries and Muslim cultures. So it was the first time, but it was real.
Analysts also point out that Turkish series are more family-oriented, with no on-screen nudity. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing. In some countries, including the UAE, Egypt and Saudi Arabia, some Turkish content was banned. It was perceived as carrying a deeper political significance, defending Turkey's strategy of neo-Ottomanism. But a recent thaw in relations between Turkey and Arab countries is expected to calm the waters and bring these grand stories of adventure and intrigue back to their avid audiences. Ludovica Brignola, Straight Talk.
And to break down the growing popularity of Turkish TV dramas, joining me now from Istanbul is Ahmet Ziyalar. He is the president of Medya, a film distribution company. And from Doha, Miriam Berg. She is an assistant professor of journalism and strategic communication at Northwestern University. A warm welcome to you both. So Ahmet, could you walk us through this last decade in this adventure? How has the Turkish TV series industry reached to the point where it stands today?
Actually, it all started, like, as you mentioned, 10, 12 years ago with the big success of Turkish drama called Gümüş in Middle East and North Africa. And then Balkan countries show some interest. Then it's followed by the Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and lately the Latin American countries showed up in the picture. And yeah, actually, we call it something contagious. I mean, if a territory accepts the Turkish drama, and then the next one is the following. This always has been like that.
Yeah. So Miriam, how do you see the Turkish TV series industry evolving, and where does it stand compared to other major players?
Where does it stand? I would say they're standing in a very good place, and they're successful in the Muslim world, in Latin America, because they are filling a void that national, regional, and international content cannot fill. And that is putting traditional family values at the core of each story they produce.
And Ahmet, in the past decade, Turkey's TV exports have grown exponentially. Is this sustainable? What are the challenges for further growth? And do you think that the Turkish industry will someday cover the huge gap it has with the United States in terms of its exports?
Yeah, actually, I believe this, but we still need lots of time. Our industry is a relatively young one. All of our past is like 25 years. But in this short period of time, our industry developed very rapidly. And we have some practices which others don't have. I mean, our industry can produce 150 minutes episodes every week. I'm talking about script writing, shooting, and editing, which is a unique practice. At least this is what I believe. And this advantage will let us go to a better position in the near future.
So, Miriam, Turkish TV series are hugely popular in the Arab world, especially in countries like Saudi Arabia. But on the other hand, Turkey has had some political dispute with the Gulf states. Can you talk to us about the role that Turkish TV dramas could play in helping bridge mistrust between the peoples and creating a sense of goodwill?
I think they were already doing this, and they have helped to bridge these gaps. As you might know, in 2018, Turkish serials were banned on Saudi and UAE satellite networks, free-to-air satellite networks, but they remained on streaming platforms, pay TV platforms. So as long as you paid for these shows, people can still see them.
Yes.
And today, despite them no longer airing on free-to-air satellite networks, we have a huge viewership across the Arab world. People are streaming them. Network television is basically losing its significance. You know, now companies are offering Turkish content on their own streaming platforms, already dubbed or subtitled. So yeah, people are watching these shows, and they are going to continue watching these shows despite geopolitics, because they're also very profitable for the media institutions airing those shows.
So Ahmet, what's your take on that? How has the banning of some Turkish content in several countries, as we've just mentioned, due to political disputes, hurt the industry? And what kind of a role does digital pirating play here?
Actually, yeah, it hurt our industry, but as we mentioned, the digital platforms, VOD platforms, let us do keep our business doing. And digital pirating is a big issue. I mean, the increasing number of the digital platforms and the increasing consumption of VOD services let us to produce for that kind of platform specifically. And then the piracy is the biggest obstacle in front of us. And I believe if we can manage to prepare a program supported by government, we can come over this problem in near future. We have some studies on this.
So according to figures, Miriam, Turkish dramas are watched by over 700 million people in about 150 countries. Can we talk about the diverse audience here, and how do Turkish dramas capture millions of people with different historic, religious, or social background? What's the key in here?
Yes. That's a very good question, and it's a very difficult question to answer. But I kind of spoke about it at the very beginning. The key to the success of Turkish cultural products is that they fill a void in the Arab and Muslim market, in the Latin American market, but also globally, that national, regional, and Western content cannot fill. Every story still emphasizes on family values, and there's no nudity, it's not over sexualized, and people are missing these core values in cultural products. So as long as Turkish drama serials remain that in their essence, they will continue to be successful. Of course, it's important to try other genres outside the kind of romance framework, but I think by trying to compete with the West, they should not kind of lose what made them so big in the first place.
So, Ahmet, do you agree with Miriam that that's a difficult question to answer? What's the key?
It is a difficult question, which I've been looking for the answer for years. But what I believe is the main issue, our stories I share. Our culture has been influenced from too many cultures for centuries. So that's why whoever watches our shows can find something belonging to themselves in our stories. It's all a cultural thing. And the second reason is, I believe, our way of storytelling. Our industry has its own unique way of storytelling, which is cannot be described in sentences, but it has a charm. Although we have some criticism, people saying that you are slow paced and you are, long durations, but against all odds, it has a charm itself, which I cannot explain in verse.
All right, Ahmet, Miriam. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining us on Straight Talk. I appreciate it a lot.